His title says, "The truth that Destiny PvP players don't want to hear." All right, going into this, me and Glad have been pretty much homies for a while. And then I know that he has takes that are usually hot takes that people don't agree with. And he pisses people off because of it. I don't know why, but certain people, when they say something that is like a hot take, those people get a lot of angry, just random people on the internet, casuals, or whoever. But then some other people can say the same thing and they don't really attract the same kind of like hatred energy. So I feel like no matter what he says, it's definitely going to trigger some people, especially if it's the truth that people don't want to hear. All right.
So this is bound to piss some people off, but I don't really give a fuck because when have I ever? So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with my own experiences.
All right.
You get really involved into this game, and you have all these ideas about the game, and you have all these things that you wish were different about the game, and you have all these opinions on things and
the grudge, bro.
Hot takes and constructive criticism, and you know, everybody thinks that they know what the best version of the game is, right?
Facts. No matter who you are, you think you know what the game needs, right? Whether you're a casual, average player, hardcore, like we all have these moments like, dude, this game would be so much better if X happened or if they did this. I definitely have it in my head, but I know better than to just say, dude, I just know the solution to Destiny 2. I know how to make it a 10 out of 10 game. Just delete PvE, you know? No, that wouldn't happen. I'm not actually wanting that. You know, okay, well, how about a real one? Remove the airborne effectiveness system, and I feel like the game would be so much better. But there's a reason they implemented such a complex, weird system into the game, because apparently not having the system doesn't actually make the game better. You know, jumping is too oppressive. Poor controller homies can't look up. So I see what he's saying. And I agree. A lot of us do think we know what's best for Destiny. And then there's people that think, oh, dude, the game would be so much better if Gambit was the main thing. You know, and really that's the only situation or case when you're actually dead wrong.
It didn't matter, like, how much I would voice my opinion or how much the community would voice their opinion.
Facts.
Bungie had the direction that the game was going to go.
Facts.
It didn't matter what I thought or what I wanted. Or
Facts. Dude, as someone that's been playing Destiny, this is not even a PvP thing right now, bro. This is like real talk, real Destiny talk. Since like beta of Destiny 1, I feel like Bungie only listens when the game is struggling and dying. And I know that's probably not the truth at all, but as a player all these years, come on, bro. I had too many years to feel like that, right? There's too many cases where they prove to me that like they only really care when they're like in trouble, like the game is like really actually in trouble, right? Otherwise, it's like, I don't know, I call it an ego or something. It's like, nah, we don't need your advice, bro. The game is booming right now. We don't, dude, get away. I don't want your feedback, you know? Like, oh, you want that change? I'm gonna do something else completely different than that, bro. Go. That's how I've been feeling with this game. So it's like, when they're actually going to listen, you're going to notice. It's like when the game is, you know, kind of doing really bad, and you're like, oh my God, they're listening to the feedback, or it's right behind an expansion and they want like really good community, like positive vibes to sell the next expansion. And I know that sounds kind of like rude, but like, it's just kind of like what I've been taught as a player over the years playing Destiny is that I know they're going to come up with the banging changes that everybody wants, you know, the things that we want to hear right before the expansion. It happened right before Witch Queen 30th anniversary. They're doing Crucible balances, making it better. And I'm like, dude, they're listening. And the next thing you know, they break that and then they never turn back. You know, it's been how many years now? We're in post Lightfall and they still haven't taken us back to the 30th anniversary PvP like they say they would.
It didn't matter what I thought or what I wanted or what anybody wanted. The game was going in the direction that it wanted to go. So it was.
I know streamers and creators alike get a bunch of shit about like, dude, they're only catering to you. But I mean, maybe from your perspective, it seems like that. But the reality is, I feel like it's the opposite for both groups. The casuals feel like they're catering to the streamers, and the streamers feel like they're catering to the casuals. You know what I mean? Maybe in reality, they're catering to both and they're just colliding with each other, right? I don't know. Personally, I rarely feel like, not just me, but even just I myself, it would be really selfish to say, I want this and then get it, you know, because I'm just one player that plays the game out of thousands, hundreds, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean, normally I don't feel like us as a collective group really get what we want anyways.
Pretty much useless to try to control that and just keep hoping. Like, you know, I'd be like, okay, well, maybe it'll, like, you know, maybe things will come back, maybe those secrets will come back, maybe this will come back, and I just,
yeah, it's a whole lot of copium with this game. It's like copium, hoping that you're gonna get what you want, hoping, you know, this is gonna return, things are gonna go back to this, or something is gonna get better. It's like hoping that like next year we're gonna get new PvP maps that are not just the same ones that they vaulted. You know what I mean? It's like hoping that they're gonna learn their lesson from this SMGs, immortal spam, and not make a gun that is just as annoying. When, you know, we've seen time and time again, this is not the case. We had Gnawing Hunger Hard Light, but yet we still go to an SMG that melts so fast and is so easy to use and it flinches everything. You know what I mean?
okay. You know, Destiny's PvE has always been and will always be a priority of the game. And I know people don't like to hear this.
If you don't like to hear it, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta like relax a little bit, because that is the truth. The PvE is the priority, and it always has been the priority. It's not nothing new, at least to me personally. It's not something new since like Destiny 1 beta. Even when I first got into the game and I didn't know what to expect from the game, I knew it was a PvE game first. I've always known that. I actually got into Destiny 2 primarily for the PvE, because I saw a trailer, Space Magic, and then the beta was the first thing we were allowed to try. So because PvP was what I tried, I realized then, damn, this is actually so satisfyingly good and I love it. And then the PvE obviously, you know, also hooked me in.
But Destiny is a PvE game with PvP intertwined within it. But it is a PvE game at its core.
It's a PvE game with PvP intertwined. I don't know how else to word that. If it doesn't make sense to you, then I don't know how to describe it to you. It makes sense to me, all right?
And has always been and will always be a PvE game at its core with PvP mixed in, which gives it that cool blend of genres that we all know. You know, if you take away PvP from Destiny, it's not Destiny anymore. Destiny.
Boom! Thank you so much. See, even this guy, I don't know who he is. Variety streamer? I don't know. He plays Minecraft, Diablo, or I don't know. He only ups, a Call of Duty streamer. I don't know who that guy is. But I appreciate his take. Even he knows what Destiny is.
Well, you know, if you take away PvP from Destiny, it's not Destiny anymore.
I wish more people understood that. I feel like Bungie knows that. Some people know that. I don't know what group of people don't understand that. It's a big group. Is it new players? Like, not like new lights, but like new players that came in the past couple of years of Destiny 2. You know, because I feel like if you don't know this and you're a vet from D1, then like, dude, you're lost, bro. Like, you're part of the reason why it's so exhausting to even have a conversation about like PvP in Destiny 2, because Destiny is not Destiny without PvP involved. You know what I mean? While Gambit, you could say, okay, Destiny's still Destiny without Gambit. You get what I'm saying? Like, PvP is that important to the Destiny experience. It's a Destiny experience. And this is another thing I feel like people literally just don't get, almost like it's, if it doesn't exist. Like, bro, PvP players like PvE. There's a reason why there's so many PvP players that are PvP players, because the loop of going to grind PvE for better stuff in PvP is fucking fun. I love that loop. Even the game director, Jamama, knows that too. He knows about the loop, and he said he wants to continue to increase that loop and make it better, more rich, because that loop is addicting.
Destiny needs the PvP in it. However, it's a fucking PvE game at its core. Fucking freak out. I've literally seen people freak out about that. But I mean, if you can't fuck.
If you're freaking out over the fact that Destiny is a PvE game first, then you're definitely too much of a recent player to really get it. And it's all right. You'll realize it eventually. But for now, I mean, some of us are kind of getting exhausted of like seeing people that are like really, really disappointed to that degree that PvP is not the main of Destiny. And it's like, bro, you new here or what? You know what I mean? Like, I get there's problems. I get that PvP should be better, but like your stance is a completely different, you know, out there stance that's just like, come on, bro. I need you to come down a couple levels. You feel me?
Fucking see that at this point, then you're fucking lost. You are so beyond like oblivious to what's going on.
It for sure applies if you've been like years of gaming on Destiny 2. If you've been a PvPer since like Destiny 1, you're definitely lost. And why are you looking at me like that, Glad? What's up, bro? Why are you making that face right now, man? Let me take you off that. Stop making eye contact. There you go. Almost fell. Yeah, if you've been playing since like D1 and you still don't know that, you're definitely lost, unfortunately, bro.
The vibe that has been happening for fucking years.
What's the vibe? Tell me.
And it's always been like this. It's like
always
people want this PvP game to just constantly have all of these, like Destiny. They want this Destiny PvP game to just have all of these focused updates on PvP, and they want it to be the next like competitive PvP game.
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute.
PvP game to just have all of these focused updates on PvP, and they.
Okay, look, I will say, part of me, and I know I'm wrong, but I'm like we all have selfish sides, right? We all feel it. Sometimes we want more than what we're supposed to get, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely feel selfish when it comes to PvP. Like, I want more. Like, you know, even if PvE is getting better and updates and all this, like, I'm still feeling that PvP selflessness where I'm like, dude, come on, make it more PvP. Give me more PvP, even though I'm literally going to enjoy all that PvE stuff they're talking about and making changes about because I'm still a PvE player as well. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't have the restraint. So this is probably where that comment is coming from, that like people really want those PvP updates to be like, you know, those updates to just be about PvP. And it's like, at this point where Crucible is at, I don't blame them. People are desperate. I don't blame them. Like, PvP players are fucking desperate, man. I don't blame them at all. It's like, you go from being like, yo, can we get like a couple extra updates, guys? Hey, can I get a map? To the point where you're like, dude, give me this. Give me these updates. Another update without PvP. Give me. You know what I mean? It's like, you just get so impatient at this point, and I can't blame them, honestly. Like, it just starts to like, the communication is just completely different. It's so much more exaggerated now. It's much more impatient, much more frustrated. When in reality, they're probably like not really trying to like make every update about PvP, but it's just people are just, they want content, they want updates.
They want it to be the next like competitive PvP.
Okay, the next competitive PvP. Oh shit! Well, let's rewind and hear that out.
The vibe that has been happening for fucking years has, and it's always been like this. It's like people want this PvP game to just constantly have all of these, like Destiny. They want this Destiny PvP game to just have all of these focused updates on PvP, and they want it to be the next like competitive PvP.
All right. So, unfortunately, at least this is what I'm getting. Unfortunately, when he says these people, you listen to that and you feel like he's just grouping everyone in the same segment. But I feel like he's too smart to like do that. Like I feel like when he's addressing like they want these PvP updates, they want competitive PvP, he's like kind of like going at different groups within the PvP community, because I for sure think there's so many of us that don't want competitive PvP. Like, I don't think me or the Primal guys like ZK, Purecho, Lemur, Fallout, Astacross, like, dude, I can't tell you the last time I heard any of them wanting competitive PvP. It's probably the last time I probably heard any of them in my Primal clan say anything about wanting competitive PvP was probably like in the first to like year of Destiny 2. You know, during the Warmine era or something like that. That was probably the last time I heard anything like that. But I'm gonna be like honest right now and just reflect back on the days where, you know, where my roots were at, right? And I feel like this community still exists today, albeit much smaller than it ever was, ever. And I know it's hard to like not want to have the competitive spirit to compete in the game that you're enjoying to play and you want to get better, because that's really what PvP is about: being better, getting better, improving, beating your competition. And eventually that just continues to increase into a passion where like you actually want competitive PvP, hence why we have a competitive playlist in Destiny 2 right now. And we've had variations of it in the past of Destiny 2, because there are players that will play it and enjoy it. They wouldn't just make the mode if it was going to be a dead playlist. And I for sure know like it's not completely dead. People do like doing it. You can be a competitive player even as a casual player. You know what I mean? Listen, so I started as a competitive player. You know, I came straight hot from Call of Duty game battles. And when I went into Destiny 1 at the beginning, the first year, 2, whatever, there was a bunch of like MOG pro orgs being involved. You know, we had Flamesword, we had Nadeshot playing, Scump was playing, you know, there was Halo Legends playing Destiny 2. And I was like, man, I really want this game to be comp. And so many of us did. Dude, we rode that comp community for years in Destiny 1. You know what I mean? For years, I wanted competitive PvP, like MOG, esports, right? Dude, and we made crazy milestones, crazy achievements as a community. We had tournaments with so much money involved, investors, companies making the tournaments for us. We had so many just in-game community teams being made. But I don't think orgs were involved at any point because it wasn't like completely official yet. You know, obviously they would not do it if it wasn't official. We didn't have any private matches, but you know how passionate we were about competitive PvP Destiny? We used to do a thing called Search Eval. You know, this might ring a bell to some people. I might just give people a hit of nostalgia right there by saying that. Search Eval. The days where we had no private matches, we would literally like snipe each other. You know, the best way you would explain it is stream sniping, where we would queue at the same time and we would look at the matchmaking counter. If we didn't get 6 automatically, it was a back out, and you would keep doing that until you had 12 out of 12 instantly, because that would mean that you're playing another 6 stack as well, and that was the person you were trying to match. And that's how passionate this community was that I was a part of for so many years before we got private matches included. We wanted competitive PvP, and that's what we had to do. We had tournaments, thousands of viewers, man. Clans were being built. So many, you know, sub-communities were being made. I had my own clan. I was the founder of my own clan, the Nemesis clan. You know, you want to look at some old names right there, you can go check out the Nemesis trailer. You can look it up on YouTube. And then, you know, eventually made Primal as well with Ankuch and Bossjoy. So, dude, there's so much history. There's so much there was so much passion in that. We even got baited. And I'm calling it bait because I feel like this is a reoccurring thing with Bungie in Destiny 2. At least with PvP players, they just keep baiting. And I feel like it's just toxic, honestly. Like, stop baiting like you're gonna, you know, tell them what they want to hear or give them what they want when it's not happening. But we got baited. We got used as a marketing plot. Rise of Iron came out and we got to do an MOG event, right? And when I say when you got used, is like, it was definitely meant for marketing. But in that case, you know, it gave us a taste in the only one time an actual official tournament ever. And you know what? I'm happy they did it. Even if it was just one, even if it was just for marketing, I'm happy they did it. Because I got to participate and we got to see what it would be like Destiny being an official esport for once. And that was the MOG Destiny tournament.
Just 6 kills and 6 crest away is your Bravo squad. Make it 8 as they pick up 2 more Frostbolt doing the work with the shotgun. Now the pressure coming in. The Blade Dancer out for Sewalabra. He's able to pick up 1, looking for a second. The shotgun trying to chase him down from behind. And Bravo now just 6 away. On the other side, Alpha mounting a bit of a comeback.
And a triple kill just now from FrostBolt. He's got 45 points. This is the most points we've seen from any player. He's on fire. I almost wish we were watching him because his Fist of Havoc right now, his slams are on point.
and we finally got private matches, and we thought this game is going calm. Fast forward to Destiny 2, the game was in a really bad spot PvP wise. Even though it was balanced, this is where it should tell you what PvP players are in Destiny. A lot of them did not like the changes. Why? Because they weren't really the changes we as a competitive PvP community wanted at all. And we were just mind blown. Dude, so many of these passionate competitive players in the PvP community, they quit, they stopped playing, you know what I mean? They gave up on the game. It's like, what does that tell you? It's like, dude, they just didn't listen to the feedback correctly. I don't know who they were listening to. It was definitely like, I wouldn't call myself, you know, the front face of the PvP community back then, or, you know, the spokesperson or anything like that. But I was very well, like I get it. I understood, and I saw a lot of the things we wanted as a collective. And I was like, when I got to play Destiny 2 PvP, and I was like, this is definitely not what we wanted. And we had to deal with really angry PvE players for years. It's like, you ruined Destiny PvE. This is why it's so boring because of you. It's like, bro, did we play the same game? Like, we were so passionate and in love with the gameplay, with the space magic, the supers killing everything, having fast supers, the crazy grenades, getting some crazy plays. It's like, what the fuck? It was just not it. And then, unfortunately, over time, because a lot of these pillars just kind of like fell out, and there was just not much of a benefit to be in this community anymore, or part of it, or try to like, it wasn't going anywhere. You know, once you open your eyes, you realize it wasn't going anywhere. What do you do then? You just give up. It was a dream that many of us give up on. I gave up on that dream a long time ago. We're talking like Curse of Osiris, Warmind era, around that time. A lot of us gave up on that dream. We knew it was not going to happen. If you didn't know that was happening, it's like he said, you're lost, honestly. Like that is never happening anymore. It's never going to happen. That dream is long dead. Why didn't the community just stay passionate? Probably because they know it wasn't going anywhere, right? They went to go focus their energies in other games. I'm telling you, like, some of the competitive PvP players that I knew from D1 and early D2, they became pro in other games. I shit you not. That's what it is. If you're still thinking there's going to be competitive PvP today, you want that? Bro, I don't know what to say, man. I feel bad. It's like, dude, you gotta go take a trip down memory lane, go back in time and look at what happened, like, with the community, because it's not gonna happen.
So like fucking years ago, I'm like, all right, like Destiny is definitely more of a PvE game, but okay. I mean, you know, I hope that the PvP gets service, but it's never going to be a priority. They're not just going to drop all the PvE and just balance the game on PvP. Like,
facts, that's true. I don't really expect them to do that. I do at least hope and expect for them to make time for it, not just completely neglect it for such a long time,
enjoy
right?
the PvP, that's great. I'm not hating on people that do, right? But let's remember where Destiny's focus is here. And then another year goes by, and it's, I'm not happy. PvP does not make me happy. And it's like, dude, this is the same conversation that we had last year. Like, Destiny is a PvE focused game. Like, you're not gonna get what you want out of Destiny's PvP. I'm pretty sure we've made that clear now for like all of Destiny 1, and now a couple years into Destiny 2, and then another year goes by, and all I see,
yo,
Will from Booker Law.
I don't care, Will. I get the ad out of my face.
is PvP not happy. Why aren't we getting this? We haven't got this. We haven't seen this. And it's like, dog, what fucking year is it now? How many years?
Okay, I don't think he's alone in this. I would say a lot of PvE players and even PvP players are probably tired of those people that are just like, oh my god, we didn't get this or that. Hold on.
Why aren't we getting this?
Yeah.
We haven't got this. We haven't seen this. And it's like, dog.
Okay, look, there's two ways to go about this, right? I get it. You can be tired of it. You can be exhausted of hearing it. Or the other way, it's like, aren't they right though? Like, why are we not getting more updates? Why are we not getting the more PvP maps? And by more, I don't mean like more than what the bar is or bare minimum. I mean more as in like more of what we've had in the past, right? More of the updates we've been having in the past, more of the maps like we used to have. Like, in my honest opinion, like I'll have to deal with this. You know, I'll be in the same states. Like, oh my god, like people just constantly complaining year after year, the same shit again. But it's like, I get it, and I'm not really one to go out of my way, and I wouldn't even try to tell them just shut up, stop. I feel like somebody has to complain. Someone has to do the fight for you. You know what I mean? If I just take a stance where I'm just dealing with the shit that I get delivered, who's going to be out there doing the fight that to make sure that this gun doesn't stay broken for a year or two straight? You know what I mean? Who's gonna do the fight to make sure we get some actual new PvP maps and not go 700 plus days without a single new Crucible map? Someone has to do it. And that's where I, you know, in some way respect people that have the energy to do the complaining, the fighting. That like, I just don't got in me. You know, sometimes I'll do it, but usually I just, you know, some of us just want to be chilling, happy, right? We don't have like the energy to be in that negative energy per se, I guess.
What fucking year is it now? How many years are we gonna go over this? Like, you keep expecting these things from Bungie, and it's very clear that this is not where their attention and their efforts are, and their energy and their money is going towards. Like, their money is going towards the bigger picture of Destiny. And you know, this is before we knew about Marathon and other things, so it's very clear where the resources are going.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, dude, it was a weird experience, and it was a conflicting experience, but it was more hype because it was something new. But then as the hype wore down a little bit, went back to normal, then it was just kind of sadness when I saw the Marathon trailer and I saw all these like familiar faces of people that used to work on just Destiny and PvP as well. And I was like, oh my god, so that's where you've been. We've been ditched. How to explain it? They're like, you kind of form like a connection, not only to the game, but to the people. They become special people that work on the game for you. And when you know those people are gone, you're like, damn, you know, like you're not just like some random person working on the game to me. You know what I mean? Like, you actually like mattered, and you made a big impact, and you have been gone for how long? How long have you just ditched PvP for and PV? You know what I mean? It's what it feels like, right? A little bit. And it's just like, ouch, man.
Right. Destiny doesn't hate the PvP community. It's just, Destiny is not a fucking competitive PvP game for like 6 years now. And then another year goes by, and another year goes by. And it's just at the point where it's like, all these fucking PvP players.
Hey!
Dude, I'm not lumping every PvP player in the entire world.
You good, bro?
Tons of people that are making changes.
I give you the pass.
I respect that, and I appreciate you, and I hope that you find happiness. But overall, the general vibe of Destiny and what the PvP players want is it's just constant disappointment and never getting what they want, and always thinking that there's something around the corner or the next update, or that they're entitled to this or entitled to that, or that this needs to happen, or that Bungie hasn't been servicing them, or what kind of fucking, like, are they even listening? It's just like all these things that are just fucking made up, that have never ever been a thing in the first place, and they're always unhappy and they're always complaining.
Okay.
And what the PvP players want is it's just constant disappointment and never.
Okay. Listen, I know he played Destiny 1, but I don't know how involved he was with Destiny overall. I think, I don't know when he started. It definitely was Crota days. And I don't know how like intertwined he was with the community at the time, because I'll say this, like PvP wise, as a player playing Destiny 1 for all the years, I was really committed. There's definitely sub communities that like I never knew existed or were a thing. You know what I mean? Like back then, I didn't even know like who was the PvE players. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's when you go back in time and you're like kind of just like a player, it's easy to just feel like, oh, these communities don't exist because you don't see them, or they're not like in your algorithm almost. You know what I mean? It's like speedrunners to me. It's like, I don't see any speedrunner content. I don't follow any streamers. I don't even think about it. Right. So it's like, there would be like me saying, it's like, why are these speedrunners like complaining about this shit? Like, dude, you never, but I don't know their history with the game, right? Like what they've been provided and what they've been able to do. It probably is a bad example, but I can't think of anything else on the spot. But he's saying that it's never been a thing in the first place, which, you know, I feel like that's easy to get misinformed with, because it has been a thing, brother. It has been a thing. We used to get so many PvP maps, good updates, good feedback, good communication, you know, there's good conversation back and forth. I mean, we even had an MOG event, and that tells you everything. A fucking MOG event, right? Like the constant disappointment
Getting what they want,
of not getting what we want.
always thinking that there's something around the corner.
Always thinking there's something around the corner. This is definitely long-term players that have been playing for years, D1 players, or just newer players that like got told what the game used to get. You know what I mean? If I'm telling you we used to get like X amount of maps and updates in this era, then you would be like, even though you weren't there to experience it, like, why aren't we getting that? You know what I mean? Because it's like what you're getting now, it's like, this is shit. Give me that. Why aren't we getting that? Even though you haven't played it. So it's like that keeps growing, and we've turned into like a group of like, bro, you know, we're in agreement here. We want that. Stop disappointing us. Maybe next update will come on. Next update, like give us some of the good stuff. I definitely disagree on this part. I think people are the ones that are disappointed. They have a good reason to. I feel like, and this is just because I feel like I've been a PvP player, so like I know the history. I've been there. Just like if I were to try to talk about PvE history or some other sub-community histories, like I don't know, speedrunning. I don't know some good examples. I wouldn't know what they've gone in the past, what they haven't gone, how much they've been like disappointed with, how much they get ignored, right? So I wouldn't know. So it's like in this case, I feel like he doesn't really know about how much we used to get, how much the PvP community was so massive at the time back in D1 and even D2, early D2, about all the clans and, you know, teams that were made, pulling thousands of viewers on Twitch and thousands of views on YouTube. You know what I mean? You could go back to watch the Reckoning Triple Rec montage. That shit has 1 million views, bro.
Or that they're entitled to this or entitled to that, or that this needs to happen, or that Bungie hasn't been servicing them, or what kind of fucking, like, are they even listening?
To his defense, it definitely, if you don't get why, it definitely sounds like that group talking sounds entitled and whiny as hell and really annoying. You know what I mean? If you were listening to me and you are like a newer player and you're listening to me say like, dude, why aren't we getting this and that? It's like, damn, dude, like you would not understand. You would just be like, this guy's like entitled, like it's a PvE game.
It's just like all these things that are just fucking made up, that have never ever been a thing in the first place, and they're always unhappy and they're always complaining. Why are you still here? Move on.
True. I actually think that's true. So that's the full statement. So what I said about his comments was not the full like statement he was making. So his statement was saying, if you're constantly complaining and disappointed, why are you still playing? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like meant to be. I don't take it as being toxic. Like he's like, dude, move the fuck on, get away if you're gonna keep complaining. More like, dude, if you're unhappy, like you should know, like you're gonna be constantly disappointed, right? Like you've experienced constant disappointment. Maybe you should just move on, right? Like you should just move on, bro. Like it's the truth, the real truth, just hitting you with the raw fact. Just move on, man. Like you're doing this to yourself, essentially, is what I'm getting from this. It's like, if I'm constantly like angry at trials and so miserable, and I know that it's going to be the same thing every season for years, and I've played for years, then I literally there would be like a comment fitting to me. Why the fuck am I still playing? Like you got to think that to yourself.
Like you are so fucking stuck that in this thing that is just going to spin and spin and spin and spin and spin in the same spot. That's
true. Like there are literally people just stuck, and this happens outside of just PvP. It could be PvE, it could just be a different game, it could be IRL, bro. People literally get stuck, and this is happening in a much smaller degree, minor degree here, where it's PvP players that are just stuck in this like constant disappointment wheel because either A, they don't realize the reality, they don't see the entire picture. You know, I'll use myself as an example of the opposite because I'm a PvP player. You see me as a PvP main, and you're like, maybe you're surprised I'm not taking offense to what he's saying. It's like, or it's not shocking to me, but it's like, no, I know this, bro. I've been knowing this. Like, I've been awake. My eyes have been open this whole time, bro. I don't sleep, man. What you talking about, bro? So I accept the PvP for what it is, and I have accepted it for what it is, which is why I wouldn't consider myself as someone that's stuck and in a constant disappointment. I guess I will experience disappointment, but like what he's saying here is like more of a smaller degree, more like I know what I'm getting into. I know the negatives to it, but it doesn't impact my enjoyment in playing the game and wanting to play it because of other reasons, right? Like maybe I actually do like playing the game a lot, and it's not going to stop me from playing, but it would make the game much more fun to play if, you know, they would actually give me what I want in the game, right? But some people need to hear that to move on because maybe they're stuck and they don't get it. And I wouldn't be surprised because, dude, they do such a good job at like kind of like reeling you in sometimes, baiting you, getting your hopes up. You know, the conversation has been vague. They never told us they were working on Marathon until they announced Marathon. Like, we had a feeling nobody was working on PvP anymore, that the team was like gone. But like, you're like, hello, we don't know anything. And then like, they're gone. They was working on Marathon, dude. Like, oh shit, they never told us. You know what I mean? We've been baited this whole time. And like, it happens here and there where like a new bait happens to keep these players that are stuck to remain stuck. The 30th anniversary PvP updates, dude, that was the biggest one. They made that update. Honestly, it even got me. I was like, damn, the game PvP wise really is getting so much better. We can only go up from here. It's about to be fucking nuts. And it's like, imagine someone that's not me, that doesn't like have all those years of experience or hasn't like realized it already, what the game is and how it's going to be approached. They're probably still on that copium, you know, hoping and, you know, stuck in there. So it's important to just open your eyes and have a conversation with yourself.
We're gonna go anywhere, and you're literally just making zero progress always, and yet you still have the same upsetting, negative, complaining, unhappy vibes that you're just projecting to the entire community. And
I get why, as a PvE player, it seems like there's no progress, but you have to be in the opposite person's shoes, like a PvP player, to know, like, when you hear that, you're like, I mean, you're kind of right, but you're kind of not right at the same time. We have made progress. Like, we went from 700 plus days, no maps, to now we're getting a map per season. While it's not exactly what we wanted, it shows that we're making progress, and we're starting to crack in there and actually get the support and love that as a PvP community we should be getting. You know what I mean?
And then it just snowballs, and that's what's happening. It's like this, dude. It's just negative energy, just fucking all the time, and it just gets worse every season and every season and every season, and it's the same fucking conversations all the time. And that's what's happening. And what's the word? Exhausting, draining.
It's definitely is exhausting and draining. Like, even for myself, when I stream on Twitch, even though people are complaining about PvP, because I track PvP players and I attract their PvP opinions, they're going to tell me how they feel, even though they're correct and I can understand what they're trying to say and I can relate. I'm exhausted. Like, bro, please just take that energy somewhere else. Like, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just not the space where I want to deal with it right now or something like that. You know, it's just tiring. I'll go to Reddit and then I'll join you in that fight. But for now, like, dude, just get away. You're draining me, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's just tough.
You know what I mean? And it comes to a point where, like, if you're one of these people that is just like, if you're in chat right now and you're one of these people and you feel extremely called out and you're like, I mean, that's me, right? I'm not here to make you feel bad. I'm knocking on your skull and I'm saying wake the fuck up, because nothing's gonna change.
Okay. So this is another kind of like strong statement, kind of like trying to say like the point of what he's been saying so far is he's trying to say he's knocking on your skull to wake up. And we already talked about how like people need to get out of that stuck and come to accept and realize what the game is, you know, whether you like it or not, you know, you're going to move on or you're going to accept those mistakes and keep fighting and, you know, keep enjoying the game, right? He's trying to like, for those people that just are not aware, they don't get it, right? They have not come to realization with what PvP is and how it's going to continue to be. He's trying to let them just know, dude, wake up.
Especially now with Marathon, which is I think the biggest reason all of this drama is getting worse is because of Marathon. Marathon made things way worse because now
it really did,
everyone
man.
Has a cause.
You know, personally, just the Marathon announcement it's impacted me negatively with my enjoyment of PvP in Destiny 2. I'm kind of like wearing off of it a little bit right now, you know, just going back to just enjoying it more. But for a while now, and it's impacted a lot of PvP players, we kind of just felt, I don't know, sad, resentful, playing PvP, you know, bitter, you know, like really not into it anymore. It's like, damn, it's like they're getting the dedicated servers, the anti-cheat, all the updates, like the devs are there, like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? You feel some type of way playing.
Right now, everyone has something to point at. Oh, it's because of this, and you know what? They're probably fucking right, which gives you even more reason to move the fuck on. Like, if you're that unhappy season after season with Destiny, then that's your own fucking fault at this point.
Yeah, like, don't feel bad if you can't be like your friend or this creator that's playing PvP and they're happy with the game. Don't feel bad. You're not in the same mindset. You know, you're different people for a reason. You're not alone. There's been so many people that were passionate PvPers, really good PvPers, and they just, you know, they said, you know what? I'm going to go take my energy, my talent, whatever, somewhere else where it's going to be more appreciated and I can do more with it, right? Don't feel bad. I get questions all the time like, damn, how can you enjoy Crucible right now, man? Like, can you give me any advice? Like, and it's just like, it's just wired the way that you're wired.
Like if you're playing Destiny for PvP and you were just that upset season after season, and it is just such a fucking grueling thing that it's this self-induced at this point because nothing's gonna happen. And if Destiny comes out with a huge fucking PvP revamp, you know, the whole game becomes a PvP focused, I'll eat my words, but I'm telling you right now, that's not gonna fucking happen.
No shot that's happening. Hey yo!
So you're gonna keep living in your shitty little unhappy bubble, expecting Destiny PvP to become exactly what you want it to be. It's never gonna become exactly what you want it to be, and you need to move on, and you need to realize this and have some self-awareness and knock on your own fucking fucked up skull, because it's the same shit every year.
Yeah, self-awareness for sure. I feel like it's important to remind just people in general, but like I know the topic is PvP players, but this can be just to anybody, honestly, in games or just IRL. Self-awareness is really important, and you know, I'll tell you my personal experience where I had to do this. I won't say any names, but it was someone PvP wise, and I won't say any names, but someone was constantly complaining and being negative. You know, it was just going on for a while on socials, in other areas. And then, you know, eventually I took glad stance where I had to knock on someone's head. I'm like, bro, listen, man, we can keep complaining. Like, you're spitting facts. You're right. But you have to realize, become self-aware. It's like, this is also impacting your overall enjoyment of the game. Like, come to terms with like, if you're going to deal with it or not, you know what I mean? It's going to impact your happiness. I'm trying to find what exactly I said, the words. I can't remember, but it's pretty much just saying be more self-aware, right? We know where the game isn't going, and it's like, unfortunately, the complaints from one person or even a couple has shown that it doesn't matter, and it hasn't made an impact in how many years. This, like, do you want to continue to be unhappy while you play the game, and you want to keep attracting that unhappy energy. You know, and just want to have fun, right? Whether it's this game or something else. And it's like, you know what, you're right. You know, fuck that shit, right? Like, I'll say my facts here and there. I'll say how it is. You know, and when people are gathering together to complain about something, you know, and they need my back, I got them. But for, you know, I'm just gonna go just enjoy literally the video game. You know what I mean? And it was the craziest glow up ever, and it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I want to see my friends be happy, man. I want to see my friends be happy, and I just see so many people not happy all the time.
I get that, dude. That's exactly how I felt too. You know, like I want you to be happy, you know, and just in people in general, be happy, right? Like I want you to be happy. Not like forced, but like I want you to be happy. Find out what you need to change to be happy. I can be happy and enjoy the game. That doesn't mean I can't criticize and be unhappy with the game at moments as well. Because I definitely am. I'll be vocal about the things that I dislike. And then like, you know, if I make a tweet, unfortunately, it's going to seem like, man, this guy's unhappy with the overall state of the game. Just quit, bro. Quit the game, man. Like, yeah, you should definitely just move on to a different. It's like, bro, chill, man. I'm saying some facts. I'm cooking right now, but I'm still happy. You know, it's like, how do I say it? You don't let the problems and that negative emotion control you. You know what I mean? You control it. And that's important to do.
It's the same. It's the same shit. I mean, is it like at some point, because I see what people are saying, right? People don't want to leave. They're stuck. It's how they're, you know, we're talking like content creators, I guess, right? They're stuck. It's how they're making money. They can't leave. They'll lose their, you know, income.
I don't know who, at least in the top level, like for creators, I don't know who's been saying that. Maybe it's some of the more like average of the, you know, lower tier of the people that are making money, and then like they're trying to get by with those couple of dollars that they're making. I think he's probably referring to that segment, because the top level is I don't know. I don't really like hear that. And if you're stuck and you can't leave, like, I don't know what to say, man. It's unfortunate. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's just unfortunate. Also in the same shoes, I definitely wouldn't want to leave either. But like, that's a completely different problem in itself. You know, people were making a living off doing recovs, and when they banned recovs, like, that probably took a lot of people out of their jobs. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad, but I know how much it was hurting the game, and it was even hurting my personal experience. And, you know, you can have your own take, right? But, you know, some people's take will be like, it shouldn't have even been your job in the first place, or this and that. I don't know. To that group of people, it's like, we could just wish some luck, and hopefully you can adapt. As for streamers like Cross, Jake, ZK, me, you know, it's like, I don't really hear that conversation really
they're
much.
Stuck. It's how they're making money. They can't leave. They'll lose their, you know, income.
For me, this is not the sole reason, but one of the reasons I can give you, just so you can understand better why it would seem like I don't want to leave or I'm stuck. Dude, honestly, bro, I'm committed to the game, man. I've dedicated and invested so many years, literally of my life, into this game. This game became more than just a game to me, and it still is more than just a game. And I've been here since the beta. I've seen it through ups and downs, through different approaches, you know, through the raid launches when Trials was first there, when the game was dying, it was dead, when they made some really bad decisions, when they made some really good decisions, to celebrate moments and to complain about situations together. So it's like, dude, I'm just committed, man. Like, I don't know, 20 years. You can't just like turn around and be like, all right, peace. And just be like, we didn't have any history. There wasn't like a lot of good memories with each other, this and that. Someone's about to make that comment again. Dude, Destiny really is that toxic relationship you have.
I get what you're saying, but at some point, doesn't there have to be a breaking point? And if you're not at that breaking point after 9 fucking years, like when does that break it? Do you just hate your fucking life for like?
So 9 years, I guess it varies between person, right? Some people could be 2 years, 3 years, 9 years. Honestly, though, 9 years, I don't think it's possible. Who the fuck has been playing PvP for 9 years and is still miserable? I haven't found anybody. They probably quit the game already. I don't see a single one. So unfortunately, and I get it, I totally understand why. He's a PvE player, and he kind of like from the outside looking in, you're kind of like grouping people, right? And like, because there's so many voices complaining about the same thing, and even the minority voice is so loud. You know how it is. The most complainers are usually the loudest. It starts to seem like even people like myself, for 9 years, I've been just unhappy, disappointed, and stuck or whatever.
Doesn't there have to be a breaking point?
Where we're still fighting and we haven't reached a breaking point. When in reality, it's like, yeah, it was a breaking point for so many of those 5+ year players, I would say. And it happened a long time ago, and they're still playing the game, or they quit, right? There's only two choices to make. If they're still playing the game, they're probably doing the best with what they got, and also enjoying what they do have, but they still know it should be more that they're getting, and they still want that. You know, it's okay to still want that.
If you're not at that breaking point after 9 fucking years, like when does that break it? Do you?
And this poll, like, dude, when are you gonna quit, like, and just get more love from a different game or whatever? I see a lot from like anybody in the community, really. It's like, why did you just stop? When are you gonna quit? Like, what's your breaking point? Like, why do you keep playing this dog shit game? They don't give you any maps. Like, they get it, like, that it's bad, but they're also just confused. Like, why are you still playing? I'll complain about the game, but you have to not misunderstand where I'm coming from, right? And this is just a me example. You can't misunderstand me. Like, don't misunderstand me. Like, I can complain, but it's not like I'm not enjoying the game. I am enjoying the game. I'm having fun with it. I'm making the best out of it. And I'm having moments that are still just so much fun. You know what I mean? I can still complain and feel negative towards parts of PvP, right? It's possible. It's possible. You know, bad moments happen and you won't have fun sometimes.
Do you just hate your fucking life for like 15 years and then you retire and you're like, all right, cool, that was fun. I fucking hated all of that. At some point there has to be like a point where you make a change. Like what is life without taking risks and making changes? How are you supposed to grow as a person?
So here I feel like he's trying to give advice, you know, like he's kind of like breaking your heart, making you realize, knocking on your head, like, bro, you know, telling you the truth, how it is, being the homie, like telling you what nobody else is going to tell you, like a real friend, not a yes man, but like a real friend, just trying to get your back, you know, trying to like improve your life almost. This is not just the in general PvP community, but it sounds like he is saying in general, but he's kind of like just saying it to like those subgroups where, dude, if you're stuck, like, why don't you just take a risk somewhere else and maybe you'll end up happier? You know what I mean? If you want really comp PvP in this game, another example, I guess we'll just go with that one. You're really competitive, but you're really unhappy and you're stuck. Why don't you just try your luck, take your challenge somewhere else and see how that goes, and maybe you'll be happier. You go to Apex, who knows? You could go pro, you'll be happier because it's an actual PvP game. You know what I mean? This is an example, right?
Making changes. How are you supposed to grow as a person? Like everybody can do, even if it's something as simple as just limiting your playtime to like 2 hours.
And I'll give you an example of me, like a personal thing, just being transparent. It's like we call it stuck, right? But like, I'm choosing to be in that stuck. You know what I mean? I know if I really wanted to go pro, if I wanted to be pro, that I should go to a different game and try my luck there, like Apex. Basically, I'm aware that I have options, right? But even though I have those options, those are not the options that I want, because at the end of the day, I want destiny, right? And that's really important to just kind of like be transparent about, so you don't get the wrong impression about, you know, me and my peers were like, we're stuck. Right, like it's not really like the full story. You know what I mean? Like, some of us are choosing to be in that what you call stuck, and it's not like it sounds miserable, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, mind blown. We're not miserable. Overconfidence or ego, but I don't think that I can't make it elsewhere. Like I feel like I can, like I could, and I feel like a lot of other people that are PvP players, they definitely could. I mean, I've seen it over time and time again. People make it in other games. They become pros in Apex or Valorant or Overwatch. I've seen it, literally I've seen it. And it's not for me. Those are not my options, right? Like I'll tell you right now, I don't want to be a professional PvP esport player. That's why I don't go to like do something like Valorant or something. You know what I mean? I like what we got here in Destiny with the PvE and the PvP. I like playing the PvE a bunch. I like the space magic we got in PvP and the good gunplay too.
A couple hours a week, and then
sometimes
doing other things that make you happy.
Harley.
That could be other games. That could be other hobbies. Like I want people to be happy. That's ultimately what this comes down to. Is I don't like seeing people so upset all the time. And it's so obvious like where this energy is coming from, and a lot of creators have been doing that lately, and it warms my heart to see it. And there's more coming. Like there's a lot more creators and friends of mine that are Destiny mains that are making moves and are doing things. And you just, as a PvE player, you cannot main this game as a hardcore PvE loot grinder. It's just not that type of game anymore. If you're a PvE player, you're playing this game and you're creating your own content. And it's as sad as that is, that's
that is pretty sad, but that is a reality.
Because once day one raid,
this is known, I've said it in the past, but like playing PvP is all about artificial content. How can you make up the content to entertain yourself and entertain your viewers? You know what I mean? Like let's give you an example. Artificial content. Zerp picks my loadout or random trials. Bungie didn't just make that content. They didn't give you that idea. They didn't tell you like, yo, go play with Zer's build and you'll get rewarded with this and that. You know, it's just artificial content. That is entertaining me, and it's entertaining some people too, right? There's an example. I want to rewind a bit.
Other things that make you happy. That could be other games, all of that. Like at some point there has to be like a point where you make a change. Like what is life without taking risks and making changes? How are you supposed to grow as a person?
Unfortunately, I feel like he's kind of just, it sounds like he's trying to talk like in general to like every single individual, but this is like kind of one of those things where like, if this applies to you, then listen. And if you're getting offended, then it's like either A, you misunderstood, or B, it probably applies to you and you're not listening when you should be listening. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't like seeing people so upset all the time. And it's so obvious like where this energy is coming from. And a lot of creators have been doing that lately, and it warms my heart to see it. And there's more coming. Like,
yeah, I mean, whether it was Marathon's announcement or there's realizing now the state of PvP and PvE, like where people are becoming more aware of like where it's going and where it's not going. More people are just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go somewhere else, do something else somewhere else to be more happy. Like, it's almost like they only have Destiny and they're not happy. Like, this is kind of like more even personal advice. Like, dude, you got to find things that make you happy. Like, if I find myself not being happy by Destiny, you know what I mean? At some moments of weakness, let's say, I mean, I have other things that make me happy. I have working out. I have food. I have anime. I have Diablo 4. I have Fortnite, some single player games, you know. And my favorite thing about Destiny is that I have other options before I get to those out of the game options. You know what I mean? If I'm not happy with PvP, I have a whole like other layer before it gets to the point where I can't play the game. I have PvE, mock it as much as you want. I'll consider it if I really am unhappy with PvP. I have Gambit to mess around with for a while. You know, I have the raids, I have GMs, I have, you know, private matches, I have other modes in Crucible, I have my artificial content that I'm already doing from PvP. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense to you?
And it's so obvious like where this energy is coming from. And a lot of creators have been doing that lately, and it warms my heart to see it. And there's more coming. Like there's a lot more creators and friends of mine that are Destiny mains that are making moves and are doing things, and you just
And don't feel bad if you're not in that group where you're making moves and ditching the game, because it's like, if you don't feel like that energy, like you have to or you want to, like you're happy, you're good, you're chilling, keep doing your thing. Like for me, use me as a personal example. You can probably say I'm probably am wasting my talent and my energy playing PvP in this game, and it's like I could make moves and go play another PvP and grind the leaderboards, grind the ranked. You know what I mean? That's probably what people thought I was doing when I would go to like something like Apex and Warzone. It's like, man, he's making moves. He's gonna try to go, pro in this other actual PvP game. But it's like, I don't ultimately do it, and I don't keep chasing that because it's not what I really want to do. I want to keep playing PvP. I'm happy there. I'm chilling. I'm fine.
as a PvE player, you cannot main this game as a hardcore PvE loot grinder. It's just not that type of game anymore. If you're a PvE player, you're playing this game and you're creating your own content. And it's as sad as that is, that's the reality of it from a PvE player. Because once day one raids are done, it's just the same old shit with the same old fucking model and the same old drip feed and the same old bullshit. So essentially you're just creating your own content, or you're doing things that are creating incentive or challenge for yourself. It's just, that's the PvE lifestyle. And if you're playing Destiny PvE hardcore, that's exactly what you're doing, right? Or you're just an uber collector and you want to collect everything in the entire game, which is going to create more content for you as well. But and then, you know, if you're, like I said, you're the PvP player, I think I've already covered that. You're just constantly waiting for these updates that you want that are just never going to happen. Destiny is a great game. Wonderful game. It's just a fucking burnout when you try to grind it more than it provides. And it's been around.
And this is true with any game, honestly, any game.
For a long time, probably for the more than half of the life of some of you in chat right now. Anybody under the age of 20, Destiny's been around for literally over half of your life.
That was a great video. I had a good time watching that and listening to his takes, more of what goes on in his mind, how he really feels and what he really thinks. That was a good video. I didn't feel like offended. I didn't feel like really, I didn't even think he was like completely wrong when he was wrong. I think he was just misunderstanding. It was more like misunderstanding, which I guess you can call it wrong, but that seems more like aggressive, like pointing fingers and being angry at him. I more just feel like understanding that he doesn't understand. For example, like when we are expecting certain content and maps to be delivered because we've had it in the past, like I understand if he doesn't understand the kind of like the standard we've had, the bar or history with the game, PvP wise, you know what I mean? Like what we're not getting, what we're supposed to be getting, yada, 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 yada. That was really the most disagreeing parts that I just feel like misunderstanding, which is completely fine, because if you're a PvE player, I can't expect you to know everything about PvP and understand exactly why we feel the way we do. You know, just like you can't expect me to know and understand your life, your problems, your issues, where your head's at, like what you're fighting for, and like what issues you got going on, you know, because I'm not experiencing what you're experiencing. So that's my 2 cents on those most disagreeable parts of the video. But for the most part, he was spitting the facts, and I think his points were very important and should be taken to heart, which is, you know, some of you gotta wake up, you know, whether it's in game, IRL, whatever, open your eyes, come to realization, come to terms with some things. You got to move on or accept, and overall, just try to chase that happiness, right? Like it's good to be happy, right? It sucks to be constantly in this negative mood. Like you got to remember that, like being happy is a good thing. You should definitely chase for that. It should be like a goal. I feel like a lot of these parts would be misinterpreted if you don't really like take a neutral pose, right, to try to like figure out what he's trying to say. Like, because in some parts I feel like he takes more of an aggressive, like forward approach, and I know Glad, he's very blunt, straightforward. He'll tell you how it is, which is one of my favorite things about him. But unfortunately with society and majority of the people, it's really easy to just like not really get it, and you kind of just feel like he's trying to like attack you, right? But I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way. I feel like he's just trying to wake people up, man, trying to make you self-aware, trying to help you out almost as like advice, right? Like some of the stuff he was saying goes even more deeper than just like playing PvP. Like it goes into like more emotional, mental stuff as well. Like, dude, wake up, man. You're stuck. You're in this constant like loop of negativity. You know, some people are like, you got to realize you're wasting your talent. Like, are you okay with that? For example, me, like, you know, unfortunately, when I really think about it, you know, on paper, as with the talent that I have playing FPS games, you could say I am wasting my talent, right? And, you know, the sad truth is, I know that, and I'm okay with it because I'm not really trying to do anything more with it because I love and am enjoying playing Destiny, right? So it's like, it's crazy, right? Crazy stuff to think about, but I think he's gonna get some people angry about it, and I hope they listen more than just like the bare surface of the words coming out of his mouth, because it's really easy to misunderstand each other nowadays. But solid video overall. I had a good time watching that.